This is, of course, an empty student's room. This is room number S01, and what's quite surprising is that it's just almost the same as the one that I had at the end. Mine was a bit bigger than this. It was actually one of the nicest ones. It was a corner room, but it's getting a bit worn now after 26 years down the track. But when we had these, they were all brand spanking new, and they looked like this as well. They had this similar kind of look, but they didn't have what's been added in obviously later. Is this part with the, at least I don't think that any of them had these on. We had a little sink in the area and a bit more space maybe, but we didn't have our own toilet. It was outside. There wasn't a toilet in the room, and we didn't have our own shower in the room. So it's got a little toilet and shower in the room, and dear resident written there. I'll show you where mine was, my room, when I was here. It looked for, I mean, I had a similar, you know, things would have been just pretty much the same as this, except for they were brand new. This was, I'm talking about my fourth and final year. So chairs similar, the chairs are similar, the same, the sort of like casement area, the window area where we can sit down. These things with the drawers. This is all the same stuff, it's just now it's 25 years old, yeah? It's the same stuff though. They're all matching, you know, 25 years of being used by students sitting here working hard on their essays has taken the colour off the wood. It's still recognisably the same stuff. There's some kind of an internet cable. I don't know whether that's something that we can use or not, I'm not sure, but never mind. Didn't come here to spend time on the internet. But oh yes, that's probably the students allowed to keep some of their stuff. We were allowed to keep in one place stuff and put the lock on it. For rooms which were going to be used, there was just one cupboard that you could keep things in, and the other you had to keep free for over the conference period, which was the vacations. You had to know that the room was going to be used during vacations by people coming on conferences. Now it's the boots on the other foot, because whoever student's room this is, it's me that's using it. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. The view from the window wasn't that, because that's all new. There was the fields and the fence. The gravel path, yes, but then fields behind it, not that else. I'll show you the one that I had was down there, yeah? In fact, I think that you're looking at it just poking out there. There's some photos of me in black and white just sitting next to it, but I'll show you how close I am to that place. Yes, he's looking just the other end of this corridor. This was our kitchen, which I didn't use much. It tended to get a bit pongy and niffy in there, and I think now's no exception. Trunks room. That was the bath that everybody could use, and you can still use it even if you're on a conference. That's the bath I used to, when I had a bath, went in there. It was always the hair of one student, and because he was an African gentleman, you could tell which student it was, because it was like black and frizzy and dark, and he always used to leave his hairs behind in the bathroom, in that bath there. That's funny, that's just the cleaner's room. That must be another cleaner's room. Yeah, it's just for the cleaners. And S8, that was my room. Nope, I'm not going to get in there. But that was my room. S7 must be looking out towards the back wall, but that was my room there. It was a bigger room than the others. And another friend of mine, David as well from Yorkshire, he was in there in S9. Oh golly, those were the days, weren't they? Yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't smell, usually the smells of things bring back the memories the hardest, but the smell here has changed slightly over time. I'm not smelling the same smell. One of the things which most clearly is evocative of that old time is this does smell. This does smell. This area does smell that way. But these things here, yeah, where you've got the person's surname and their first initial, with the slight difference that there were quite a few Chinese students, but on one staircase here, I've got Wang, and I've got Luo, and I've got Zhang, or Zhang, probably first tone Zhang, and I've got Gu, and I've got Liu. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chinese names out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people. So 5 Chinese from 12. That's quite a larger proportion, but whether that's just the first one I've looked at. If I look over here, well, it's completely different actually. I can't see a single name which is Chinese on the whole thing. Even the name which is Polish isn't Polish because it wouldn't be written with an N. It would be written with an L, and I think that's an American, probably, or it could be German, who's of Polish extraction. Anyway, lots of foreign students come to Cambridge, and that's a good thing because you get to meet people from all over the world.